welcome back. I have a question for you. Is there a chance that you are suffering in your marriage because of not reflecting on the lessons that you have learned so far? This is a challenge for you, because if you reflect and see the places that you have gone wrong as an individual or as a couple, then you can build on those principles and decide that we are not going to stay here. We are not going to rehearse this pain. We are not going to stay and be addicted to pain. But we are going to use this as a treasure that will help us grow and become better spouses to each other. So if somebody asked me, what are the 10 lessons that I have learned in the 10 years that we've been married? We just celebrated our 10th year anniversary back in June. And it was just, I don't have words to explain, because when you say your vows the second time, it's different. Before you're just saying them, they're just words that you are choosing to say. But after 10 years, when you've experienced some of those things that you said, and you get a chance to say them again, it hits different. Let me just say that. It just hits different. It was so special. And we had the chance to have our family members and our kids to witness that. And so I am incredibly grateful to have been able to do our vows again with my wife. And so let's go back to the question that I posed. And I was just reflecting on 10 lessons that I've learned in the last 10 years. And I'm curious, would you walk with me and reflect on the lessons that you have learned in the so many years that you've been in a relationship or married to your spouse? And would you kindly share them on the comments below? I feel like so many people will find value from this. And so I am going to share my 10 in no particular order. I kind of wrote them down. That way I don't forget. But the first one is put God first. I know it's not pretty, but I'm going to share my own experience and why I'm saying this. It is going to be hard for you to stay married if you do not involve God in your marriage. That is guaranteed because of this one reason. It is hard to love your spouse. It is hard to forgive your spouse if you're doing it in your own strength. It cannot be your love. It has to be the love of Christ. And you're just but a vessel that he uses to extend and give that love to your spouse. It's going to be hard for you to serve. Yes, you'll be able to do it in your own strength, but you will run out of gas. What happens when you don't feel like loving them? You will need a higher source, the main source, to be able to remember that you are a vessel at that moment. And when they are unlovable, that you can tap to Christ and love them through Christ and forgive them through Christ and extend grace through Christ. In your own strength, you are not going to be able to sustain it. You'll be able to do it for a little bit, and that's why it's fun and exciting, especially when we are dating. But when things get real, you're having to drop kids, you're having to go to work. There's so many things that are happening, so many things that are taken away from you. At the end of the day, you might not have anything to give your spouse. But to stay married, you have to give, you have to serve. And you will not be able to do that in your own strength. You need God. Put Christ at the center of your marriage. Let him be your gas station. Let him fuel you up. Let him fill your cup. if you do not give him that opportunity, because he doesn't force himself, you are going to experience unnecessary pain in your marriage. Because you'll be looking out to your spouse to serve your need. Your spouse will be looking out for you to serve their need, and none of you have the strength to do it. And so you have to rely on God. I cannot emphasize, of all the 10 reasons I'm giving you today, or lessons that I have learned in the 10 years of marriage, this is by far the most important one. Most of the time, we put it as our last result. That's when now we go to our pastors and our therapy and we realize, oh my goodness, I should have just put Christ at the center of this marriage. So that's my first point. Put God first. Please, 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 please put him first. That's the foundation. You are not going far without him laying that foundation, without him being the source of this, okay? I don't want to keep this long. I can talk for days on that topic, but let's go to the next one. The other one that I learned over time, I'm still learning, is not reacting, but responding. And I know this is hard, especially for somebody who used to be a hot-tempered guy. Like, I would get angry in like a minute, to the point that I had to go for therapy. And I had to invest in books and podcasts. I even created a class. I made a class based on what I was learning. And I think one of the Thriving Thursday, we did talk about that, which is a Bible study that we used to do. I really went into the psychology of it, and to fully understand what are these things that trigger you. And most people react because they're not aware of the things that are triggering them. And so one of the things that I learned real quick is to not respond or make decision based on how I am feeling right now, because you are not going to trust me. And if you can be honest with yourself, think of times that you have reacted, and then later you are like, if I was patient enough to get some more information, I would not have reacted the way I reacted. I would not be here now trying to ask for forgiveness, but my pride is also not letting me ask for forgiveness. So now we are keeping quiet at each other. We are doing silent treatment, which is a form of manipulation. And we are just destroying our relationship an inch at a time. People don't get divorced just like that. It starts with small things and it continues to erode and chip your marriage slowly. And 5 years, you cannot even recognize the person that you are living with. And it comes from not spending enough time to dig deep. One of the things that I quickly learned was being able to manage my anger. And there's nothing wrong with getting angry. Actually, anger is a blessing. Anger is a blessing. It actually reveals the things that matter to you, whether they're good or bad. Whatever really, really matters to you, if somebody triggers you or somebody acts in a way that is contrary to that value, whether it's a good value or a bad value, you are going to react. And you need to be aware of, why am I reacting the way that I am reacting? Is whatever value that I'm holding on to so dearly that when it's triggered, I react in such a way that I get so angry? Is it true? Is it a belief that is right? Because sometimes some of our belief systems need to be challenged. Some of the things that including me, some of the things that we believe are destroying our relationships. You experienced something, you had something, and you took it as truth. And it's now a core value, you don't even realize it. You don't even know why you're reacting the way you're reacting. and it's important to address. Ask yourself, why am I getting angry? It's important to dig deep. The other one is giving yourself enough time to be able to gather and get more information. Some of you, some of us, me included, we're getting angry for stuff that we don't have enough information about. And if you are patient enough, you would not react the way that you are reacting or you've been reacting. And this alone can truly, honestly, like save your marriage. If you can be patient and ask God, just help me to be patient in moments where I am triggered. Help me to seek to understand what and why they are reacting or responding or talking the way that they are talking. This is the other thing. You need to ask God to help you to go to another level. When somebody says something, for you to be able to see the deeper thing. Because sometimes we have this surface level conversation with people that trigger us and get us angry, and we sabotage and ruin relationships. But if you are asked God to help you elevate a little bit higher, you would see that the words, and I'm not saying that whatever they're saying is right, but you could be used by God to help them in that moment to be able to realize that there's deeper issues that are going on, and the way that they are talking to you in a way that is not respectful is coming from a deeper root. There's a root. There's something deeper. And you can be able to help them see that so that you guys are not arguing from here. So if your spouse gets angry, says a word that you don't like, they are not supposed to. Instead of you becoming angry, ask yourself, what is making them talk like that? It's a choice. You don't have to do this, but it's a choice. Because you will be able to help them see their own pain, seeing their own struggles, help them realize that whatever they are saying, whatever words that are coming out of their mouth are not right. But that's not even the point. The point is that there is a source of pain that needs to be addressed. There is a deeper issue that needs to be addressed. And you get the opportunity to point that to them instead of taking it so personal. Because this is your person. You want to stay with them. So help them. When they are acting, let's say this with my wife, marriage is not for boys and girls. It's for adults. And so step up. And I'm talking to myself, step up. See their pain. Because people speak from a place of pain sometimes. When they say mean things, they are speaking from a place of pain. What is causing them that pain? Let's address it. If I'm part of the issue, let's address it. Let's talk about it. So that's number 2. Number 3, let me see what I wrote. Yeah, and to add to that, step into their world. Just to add a little bit on that lesson number 2, try and step into their world. Most of us live life in our own world that we never step out of our door, knock at your spouse's door, get in and experience life from their point of view. We think and we feel entitled that everybody should do exactly the way we do things. So should see the way we all see things. But God has given us different experiences. We have different backgrounds. And this is one of the things that really ruins relationships too and marriages, is because our spouse is stuck in their own way. They do not have the courage and the grace to step out of their own world and step into their spouse's world. And so now one of the spouse realizes this and they neglect living in their own world and they come live in your world. And on the inside, they're dying. They are dying because they are losing themselves. Because for this marriage to continue, she cannot live in her world and you live in your world, and vice versa. He cannot live in his world and live in your world. Like, we have to live in each other's world and form a new, create access where you are constantly getting in each other's world as you move forward. Don't be stuck in your own ways. Don't let everything, if a day ends and you do not feel like there are some decisions that did not go your way, just know that you are stubborn. Just know that your spouse suffered today, that you did not serve them, that you did not get into their world. So I'm challenging you. Step out of your own world. It requires humility, because you might not be able to do A, then B. You might need to do it B and then A. But as long as A and B is done, step into their world. Let them decide sometimes. You don't have to be the one who decides all the time what needs to be done. Let their voices be heard. This is how you end up having a beautiful marriage and relationship. Put your ego down. Put your pride down. It is ruining this marriage. All right. Number 3. Another lesson that I learned, I think I heard it from someone, and he said this: when you get married, it's like, and he had this analogy, it's when it comes to between my wife and I, my wife is me, outside me, looking at me, telling me about me. Your spouse is you. Basically, in a simpler way, basically it's your spouse is you outside you. And that you that is outside you is looking at you, and they are telling you about you. And this is how God uses our spouses to reveal things that we might never know about ourselves. And the first instinct that comes is defenses. Your spouse will tell you something, and since you do not want to hear it, you are also going to tell them, yes, Pia Wewe, you usually do this. You also always do this and that. Why are you attacking me? We get defensive, we get angry, you keep quiet. Silent treatment, which is a form of manipulation. You decide that you don't want to do stuff with them because they told you the truth. And if you do not like the truth, and if you feel like what they said was not accurate, there is always truth in it, even if it's 1% or 2%. And so our ego and our pride will stop us from experiencing a dimension of you that you will never experience unless you allow your spouse to speak into your life. So your spouse is you, outside you, looking at you, telling you about you. And you have two choices. You can either get defensive, or you can get on a personal journey of personal growth. And whichever direction you choose, at that moment, you're either deciding either you're going to stay married or not. You're either deciding that you'll have a healthy marriage or not. Because marriage without growth, marriage without discovering who you are and bringing out the better version of yourself every single day, is a very sad marriage. We are the ones that are stopping. Sometimes we looking at our spouses, but we are the ones who are stopping the level at which our marriage and the heights that with our marriages can impact the world. We are hindering by refusing to grow, by refusing to get on this personal journey of growth. Will you be perfect? No. As long as you're trying, that's what matters. As long as you're trying every single day. All right, let's go. Let's keep going. Number 4. Create memories. Create as many memories as you can. One of the things that we decided, and this decision was made, I think 2016. We got married in 2014. So 2016, we realized that we both love to travel, but traveling was a necessity because our family members live in all parts of the world, and it was important for us that we do spend quality time with our family and friends. And I'm going to tell you something here before I get on to this. I was listening to a podcast, and this guy asked a question, and this question has stuck with me, and it's one of the reasons why traveling for us is an investment. Now you invest your money in the stocks, or invest your money in business, or invest your money in education. For us, traveling is an investment that has a return that might not be tangible, but brings so much joy to us. And our reason is unique because, again, our family members, not all of them, we don't live in the same place. So this also addresses, if your families live in the same place, please prioritize to spend quality time together, to travel together, if you can. If you can. I know there are situations that do not allow you to do that, but if you can, try and do that. Try and do Zoom calls. Just try your level best. With technology now, you can. I saw something where families, those were in different parts of the world, but they all went on vacation together, but they were streamed. They had their videos on, and they could both enjoy and talk and have fun, and they had all the time. The camera was just rolling. I thought that was so cool. So nothing is stopping you from going on vacation, even if you're in different parts of the world. Anyway, my point was this. This guy asks his co-host, and he asked him how old his parents were. The guy said that his parents were in his 60s. And so he then asked him, how many times in a year do you see your parents? And the guy says, might be once or once every 2 years, because their parents were overseas. Okay. So he then asked him, how important is it for you to spend quality time with your family members or your parents? And said it's up there. It's like top 3. It's like, okay. He was like, let's say like your parents live to their 90s, okay? So how many years do you have with them? He said 30 more years. Then he asked him, how many more times do you think you'll get to see them? And he stopped. For him, it was going to be 30 more times. And if he sees his parents every other year, that was going to be 15 more times. It's no longer 30 years. it is 15 more times to spend one-on-one with your family members. And that changed everything for me. It changed everything for me. And that's when we decided that since our family members are far away, every chance we get, we are going to spend quality time with our family and friends. And so for us, traveling is an investment. And I was sharing all this. I think I'm too dark. Get into the light a little bit. I'm sharing all this because of the memories that we have created. That was my point. Create as many memories as you can as a couple. I can attest to this, and especially create them and record them. I'm telling you, I am not leaving my girl for nothing. I'm not leaving her. The memories we have created together that the Lord has allowed us to create together, priceless, man. You don't realize how those moments, especially when you get to revisit them and watch and just be so grateful for the moments that we've had to travel. And you don't need to catch a flight. Just get in the car, drive out of state, go to a coffee shop, drink some coffee and come back. Get your favorite movie, go to the park, get some food, some Chick-fil-A, sit down, watch the sunset, watch your movie. Record yourself as you're doing that. Priceless, guys. Priceless. That is what is going to keep you married. Yeah. Number 5. All right, forgive. So I just did a wedding on Saturday. It was the most colorful wedding that I've seen, apart from ours that we did. The second most beautiful wedding that I've attended. But it was so colorful. It was for one of my co-workers' son, and she's from Nigeria. And it was so colorful. I think I'll put a video here, just a picture, just to see how colorful it was. And I remember the dad, the guy who was getting married, the dad gave him a piece of advice. And it's something that I had once, and I've always held to that principle. And he told him, so the first thing he told him was like, as the dad, he will not interfere with his marriage, which I think this is a side note here. I think this is so important, especially as a parent. I'm realizing, yes, I have my 9-year-old and she's not at the age where she can, I still need to help and step in and guide her in life. But I'm also learning that it's so important to give her that autonomy, to not be so intrusive, to give her some flexibility, give her a chance to make mistakes, not to save her from everything, to allow her to experience to experience life. And so that was something that he said, and I think this is an encouragement to parents, as in, I urge you, if you're a parent and you're listening to this, please do not interfere in your kids' marriages unless they welcome you. And there's a place where you sit them down and give them advice. I am 100% for that. But when you get so intrusive in their affairs that they cannot breathe, or to the point where they're now avoiding you, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. And as a parent, I know how hard that is, because our kids never stop being our kids. Even in their 60s, they'll still be our kids. But it's so important. But here's the main lesson that he echoed that I'd had before, which I think is so valuable. He said that one of the things that has made them stay together, him and the mom, was that he decided at the beginning of their marriage that he was going to model Christ and forgive the spouse even before she commits any sin. He was going to model after Christ, where Christ has forgiven us our past, our present, and our future sins. And he decided that he was going to model that. And what that happens, what that did to the marriage, it freed them. And I know there are people who abuse people who have this mindset, because we do that. We take the grace of God for granted. But they, those who understand the value of that, as in somebody has forgiven you even before you commit any sin, as in the level of love and respect that you have for this person will make you not even want to sin, will make you want to run away from wanting to do anything that would hurt them. And this is what I am passing to you. And I know it's not easy. And that's why I started with, like, you cannot do any of this without God. I'm urging you to ask God to help you to forgive your spouse even before they commit any sin. That frees them up, one. And then number two, it makes them want to not do anything wrong. It's a risk because people might abuse that. But I am telling you, it is so freeing. It is better than the other side. You would rather live your life forgiving others. And I'm speaking to myself as I'm sharing this. It is something that I have tried to extend to my spouse, and my spouse has tried her best. It's important that you hold on to this value and pursue it, because Christ modeled this to us. The unconditional love, the forgiveness that he freely gives us. And forgiveness is forgiving. F-O-R, given. That's the whole purpose of forgiveness. It's not for you to hold on to it, because when you hold on to it, it becomes bitterness, a grudge. It becomes this weight that you're constantly carrying. And you're like, when they say that they're sorry, I will put this weight down. No, put it down. Forgive them. Forgive them. You don't even have to tell them you forgave them. Forgive them from your heart and put that weight down. And tell me that you're not going to be free. Whether they did it or not, forgive them. Forgive them. Forgive them. Is it hard? It is very hard. Are you able to do it in your own strength? No, you will not be able to. And you need God to help you. All right? Let's keep going. I might need to cut this into small bits. The other one is number 6, serve each other. I learned that in marriage, we all have emotional needs. And there's a video that we have done on the 10 emotional needs of spouses. And it is important to understand those needs, but then serve each other in those needs. And then ask your spouse how they want to be served in those needs. So there are 10 emotional needs. I encourage you to go check them out. And then there is sexual fulfillment, there is affirmation, there is recreation activity, there is financial support, the domestic support. There's a list of 10. And what we usually encourage couples is write your top 5, share them with your spouse. And since we're in the ministry of serving, Serve them. Let them serve you. You see, some of the hardest marriages are the marriages where you have two masters at work. So each master is waiting for a servant who does not exist to serve them. Then we have marriages where one of you is a master and the other one is a servant. The master is constantly asking to be served. The servant is crying to be served. But there is no servant in their spouse, it's just a master who keeps taking. So, unfortunately, those relationships don't go far either. One day, the servant packs and leaves, and the master is shocked. Shocked. It's like, what happened? Where did I go wrong? I thought I was a good husband. I thought I was kind to you. Yes, you were, but you were always taking and not giving. But the best marriages are made of two servants at work. Servants that want to outdo the other. You have needs, serve. And your needs will be served too. All right. Number 7. Find out your calling and create a shared meaning. I think this is the other thing that we don't realize as couples. We both come with a vision. We both come with dreams and desires and aspirations and stuff like that. And it's important to continue to pursue that even when you get married. It's important to continue to support each other. What I did realize is that if you do not find a shared mission, your pursuit of your dreams will drive the two of you apart. You might not leave each other. You might stay together. But you might not have quality time together. You might not move in the same direction together. And so it's important to build something that you both enjoy, a cause, a mission. I have a journal that is coming up soon, and it comes from this concept called Ikigai. And I'll be sharing that with couples because I really desire to help couples figure out what are they good at, what can they do together. There's a reason why God brought them together. Yes, to help each other with the mission that individually both parties brought to the marriage. But I also believe that God has something beautiful that he wants the two of you to do together. And I think I have a tool that can kind of push you to that path. You know, it brings what you love as a couple, what you're good as a couple, what you can be paid for as a couple, what the world needs as a couple, and then you find the middle part. And I have tools and resources that can help you achieve that. And so if you're interested, I'll leave a link down below. And you can check out that resource. The journal is free. Just click the link below and you can check it out. But just going back, I think it's important to find out something that you both enjoy doing together. Something that God has called you to do together. It can be serving. It can be starting a business together. It can be doing a mission together that you both are passionately, and something that brings joy, that is in line with your skills and your talents, and you bring them together as a couple. For us, it's MOTS. We believe in marriages, and that is, if you paid us to do this full time, we would do it. If you did not pay us, we would still do this because we love it. And we feel like God has put a burden in us to see couples thrive, to see couples stay together and enjoy marriage. And so we're on a mission to make sure that none of our friends leave each other. And that's our small contribution. Again, we can pray, we can force them, but trust me, we are going to do what we can with what God has given us to make sure that they stay together, that they don't just stay together, that they enjoy their marriages. And that's why we're making videos like this, so that, might be one thing that I've said can just change and transform your marriage. And that's my prayer and my desire. Because again, these are not my words. I pray that these words will just touch you in a special way and just bring healing in your marriage. It's doable, it's fun, it's awesome, but it takes work. You can't wing it. It takes work. All right, the other one is number 8, dance, hug, and kiss often. There's this thing we do called hugship, where you hug as you sing worship songs. And that thing is beautiful. And make declarations upon each other and declare words of affirmation upon each other. My goodness. We don't do it as often. I can't even tell you the last time we did it. I think we did it sometime in June. But my goodness, this is special. It's good. It's good just to be affirmed by your spouse. As in, anybody can decide not to believe in you. But if your spouse believes in you, my friend, if your spouse is speaking words of encouragement to you every single day, oh goodness, my friends, we need this, especially men, also women, but men, we need this. We need to hear it from our spouses, both men and women. As in, everybody can cheer you up. Everybody can be wowed by what you're doing in the world. But if your spouse is not wowed, man, it doesn't mean anything. Honestly, it just hits different when your spouse is 100% your biggest cheerleader. Anyway, the next one is invest. What you sow is what you reap. So if you're investing in your marriage, and what does investment look like? I think listening to videos like this together, reading books, going for conferences. And I like this one. If there is an area in your marriage that you're really struggling with, I urge you, find podcasts, find YouTube videos that you can both watch together. If you're struggling with communication, go on YouTube and listen to sermons on communication and marriage. Listen on books on communication and marriage. If you're struggling with the area of sex in your marriage, there is a lot of healthy materials that is out there. And if you need resources that are healthy, let me know. I will send it to you. There's usually a big conference, a sex conference that happens every year. And I've attended to two of them. And they are amazing, my friends. We realized when I got there, I was very skeptical because I was like, what is this going to be about? And I realized a lot of it is a lot of mindset. They talk a lot about your mind and how it's stopping you from enjoying this beautiful thing that God has blessed for couples to enjoy. And again, if you want resources for that, I will just let me know. Leave the comments below, and I will, if there's a big interest for it, I will send you the resources for it. Just send me your email and I'll send them to you. Okay? All right. So find what you're struggling with and invest in books, podcasts, seminars, mentors, and even mentor other people. You don't know how valuable it is. Like for us, since we're in marriage ministry and we want to be authentic and we want to share from a place of where our cup is already full, a place of overflow, it forces us to put in the work. Doesn't mean that our marriage is perfect, but this marriage ministry is a glue for us. And you need to find things that you are valuable, that you glue yourself to. So we have glued ourselves to God. We have glued ourselves to creating memories together. So you're attaching yourself to these healthy things that will keep you together. We are attaching ourselves to the mindset of growth. I now understand that my wife is a mirror of me. So when she speaks, it's a deeper part of me that is telling me about me. It's the unconscious speaking to the conscious. It is the deep wounds being revealed to me. The places that I've not healed well being revealed to me. The places that I've been challenged to grow and become a better husband. That is what is speaking. So I want you to see your spouse not just as somebody who is attacking you or telling you the things that you're doing wrong. And of course, there's a nice way to tell people and correct people. I want you to see them as a mirror of yourself. And you're given two choices. You either sabotage yourself or make this thing amazing. I hope you make this thing amazing. Because so many people are looking. Your kids want to eat the fruits of your marriage. Your friends want to eat the fruits of your marriage. Lastly, replace I with we. Make decisions with we in mind. Whatever you do, whatever conversation that you are, wherever you are, whether you are alone, remember you're representing your wife, you're representing your husband. So the way you talk about them, I want you to remember that they are standing next to you because we are we now. It's not I. I'm not going to go tell my wife's business out there. Even when I'm upset. Especially when I'm upset. Unless I'm talking to my mentor, who we have agreed to that when things get rough and we can't solve them, give me the freedom to go call them and tell them, hey, call for a meeting. Because those days will come and you will need a place where you can run to. So those are my 10 lessons in no particular order. What are your lessons? I would love to hear them. I'll share them on the comments below. Even better, we've started a community. It would be amazing if you recorded a video like this and shared it in the community. So I'm also going to leave a link to the community that we've started. Please join. Let's grow together. Let's learn. Let's challenge each other. We are going to do a lot of fun things in there. So just waiting for people to roll in. Still setting it up. We have SYMBIS there, an assessment that couples can take. As in, we just want to provide as many tools. We're also doing a series on marriage through the lens of the Bible. What does the Word of God tell us about marriage? So, yeah, I'm excited about this. And, yeah, please share. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you loved it, please subscribe, like, and share with your friends. God bless you. I love you so much. And I am praying for your marriage. I want you to do well. I want you to be whole. I want you to be healed for yourself, for the people around you, but especially for your kids. Model for them the kind of relationship that they need to have. It requires work. And you cannot do this by yourself. You need God. So if you're not saved, I'll take this opportunity to ask you to receive Christ as your personal Savior. If you want this relationship to work, you cannot start it without God. So I feel led to pray for you to receive Christ as your personal Savior. Maybe this thing is so hard because you've not welcomed Jesus into your marriage. You've not welcomed God into your marriage. And so quietly just accept Christ as your personal Savior. Ask Him to help you. He is willing And he wants to help you. Because this marriage that you're struggling in, he's invested in it. It's a representation of him and the church. He likens our marriages here, our earthly marriages, with his church, the bride. He's the groom. And so our marriages matter because they are a representation of what he cares about. And he wants to use your marriage to be a light to the world. He understands that churches and the family unit and communities and nations, they start from this. This is where the multiplication, the reproduction, the offsprings, population starts here. It starts with this marriage. He understands that the family unit is the most important unit. This is where ministry starts. And so he's invested. He wants you guys well. He wants you guys to stay married. But you cannot do it by yourself. You have tried. And it's been hard. So welcome him. Welcome him. And now from today, start doing your marriage from the same script, because that's the problem. Start having the same vision. Start having one person who is guiding and directing the course of your marriage. Have one playbook. Have one vision. It can be your vision, it can be her vision. It has to be his vision, because he's the one who came up with this. So he's the only one who knows how to do marriage. Love you guys. Bye.